Hey, everybody. Welcome into the award-winning Orange Zone podcast. I'm Tommy Sladek. Alongside me is Ashley Wenskoski, and we have Paul Dobrinsky punching up the shots. Rachel's on vacation. Samantha's on vacation, but we're still making it happen. We have a very special guest today. It's Tory, the Deputy Athletic Director of Business Development over at Syracuse, and we had a fantastic conversation with him about season tickets, and he was fun to chat with.
Absolutely. I mean, it was great to hear from someone so involved with athletics at a time that athletics is so exciting.
Yeah, so it's a great convo. Take a listen, and we get into a bunch more with that spring game, how he got introduced to Fran Brown. Take a listen. Enjoy. All right, welcome back into the Orange Zone podcast. Joining us is a very special guest. It's Tory, Syracuse University Deputy Athletic Director of Business Development. There we go. That was take 3. The folks at home didn't even need to know that.
They did not.
But we're an open book here. We let them go. We let them look behind the curtain. But this guy, he's all over the place. You go to a game, he's there. You see on TV at an away game, he's normally there. I've seen him talk in front of city council. So, Tory, my first question is, when do you sleep?
Well, I have a 19-month-old child, so I never sleep. He gets up at like 5 in the morning sometimes, wants to watch Miss Rachel. Soft plug for Miss Rachel.
Nice.
But no, I get enough. I get enough beauty rest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tough job that keeps me going, but I love it.
Yeah, you're busy, and it sounds like you're busy around the clock. But let's talk about what just happened in the Syracuse sports world. It's on a lot of fans' minds. The spring game, you were there. What did you think of that whole experience, getting to absorb it?
Well, for me, it's interesting being, I play here. Now I'm back, seeing what the spring game is, 2024 spring game compared to what all of my spring games were. And there was a different energy around it. Not just the energy around the players and, what they were doing on the field, but the fans had a different energy that I think for a lot of alum was great because, like, it felt like a game, like a real game, and it was just a practice. A glorified practice, right? So I think Syracuse football is on the right trajectory to get us to something that I don't think I saw at my time. So it was really exciting to see with Kyle McCord, LeQuint, the crazy defense. I think at the end of the day, like when you look, game 1, game 2, game 3, we have a real opportunity to be, a contender in the ACC.
And how, you're an alum yourself from Syracuse. We were just talking about it, 2011, 2012, you said. How would you say the energy right now differs or is kind of similar to back then? But I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think you'd say it's a little different.
I would say it's a little bit different. Like from my standpoint, I didn't know any better. I didn't think about energy when I was here. I was just trying to slush through the snow to get to class. But just thinking back on that time, when it comes to football was kind of that secondary thing. Everybody went to basketball. Everybody was excited when basketball season started. But like being immersed in the community now, and really understanding that like football is a priority not only for the athletic department, the university, but the entire community of Syracuse. It excites me that energy is there in a way that it wasn't there for me, and I'm excited for these student athletes in a different level than. Even when I was here, there was no excitement the way that these student athletes are getting excitement. But that probably has to do with a bunch of different things. Fran Brown, the transfer portal, people coming in that are the recruiting class, like all of those things play into it. And I think everything just hit a head at this point in time.
And you can feel it in the community, man. Like everywhere we go and people are coming up to us and sometimes it would just be, oh, we see you on TV or, oh, now it's all about this football team right now. It's all about the spring game. It's all about those players, Fran Brown, they're hitting us with it. And a part of that is there's that excitement to be a part of this season in the fall. And one of the reasons we really wanted to have you on was to talk about the renewal of season tickets because there's new seating going in the Dome.
Right.
Bye-bye bleachers. This is a big moment, but that also comes with some change. Last time we spoke with you, you had opened it up saying if people have any questions or any concerns, we really want to be there to answer those.
Right.
What has that biggest concern been, if you can pick just one, and how have you guys responded to answer it?
I think the biggest concern came with really the uncertainty of how the process works. So people would come to our ticket office and like, so what do I need to do next? Like, I renewed my tickets. What do I need to do next? And really the answer is sit for a little bit. All right. We have a big deadline coming up May 1st. If you haven't renewed your season tickets, make sure you renew. If you haven't bought your season tickets, make sure you buy. But that May 1st deadline will trigger us ranking everyone. And people didn't understand that. They've never been through this before. I've been at probably 5, 6 different schools now. And in 2 or 3 of those schools, we've done this process. And it's bad in a lot of places. Here, it's honestly been really, really good. But most of the questions have come from like the uncertainty of how the process works. Even, in those other universities that I spoke about, people know how the process works because they do this twice, every 2 years, every 3 years. But here, this is being the first time because of the new seating in the dome, something that everybody has asked for, right? Like everybody is excited for the seat, the chair back, the armrest, because they asked for it. And so the process of reseating the dome and what we have to go through and the uncertainty that people are going through right now is mainly because of that. And so that's mainly the question that they ask.
Got it. And I'll make sure for the folks listening and watching at home, I'll make sure this is in our description of the episode so you can see it. But season ticket holders, May 1st, deadline to renew tickets, and you can let me know if I'm off on anything. In order to be assigned a selection time in the May 21st to June 21st seat selection period. So if you don't hit that May 1st deadline, then you'll have to wait till after June 21st. So we're talking about a full month that you're going to be able to get a leg up to select those seats. And the donor rank and the order of that, how would you hit us with the explanation in 60 seconds?
60 seconds. Ooh, it's tough. So basically,
you can go over 60.
We've parsed people out. We've parsed people out in their donor rank. So, 50,000 to 25,000, 25,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 5,000, 5,000 to 0, and then anybody else who hasn't had season tickets there below that in the donor rank. You have the opportunity to move up in those donor ranks if you donate a little bit more, and that is what sets your donor rank for when you select seats. Everybody will select seats from, I talked about the section of $25,000 up. Those people select seats first, then down to the $10,000 people, then down to the $5,000, and so on and so forth. And so that's why donor rank is so important. That's why, we are, we're going to award people's loyalty. So people who've had tickets longer, their donor rank is up higher already. We artificially inflated their donor rank because we want to let them know we appreciate them for being a season ticket member for those 30 years. But anyone else, they have an opportunity to grow their donor rank. All they have to do is donate to the Cuse Athletic Fund.
And what was it like on the spring game? Obviously, that new seating isn't in place quite yet. They're just starting to work on it, but record-breaking attendance at the spring game. So what was it like seeing that amount of fans already in April?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. It's scary. It's scary because as you think about this reseat process from my standpoint, I see all of those people and everybody's like excited. I'm like, how are these people going to look when there's chairbacks in there? Is it going to be cramped? Are there going to be enough aisles? So I'm thinking about all the logistics. Everybody else is like, oh, this is so cool. There's so many people. I'm like, okay, so we have 2,000 people in this section. We have 4,000 people here. Where do we put them? How do we, how are the aisles going to look? How is the signage in the dome going to look to tell them what section they're in? Because this dome project is humongous, and Pete Sala and his crew have done an amazing job of laying out, the steps in the process. And it's going to be a crazy summer for the dome to get us through to the fall. But it's when I go to a game and I see all of those people and if you looked up and you saw some of those corner sections, they've already taken out some of the metal bleachers. People need to understand that was the last football event before the dome looked completely different. That was the very last football event that the dome has those metal bleachers in. So for me, I'm kind of fretting over what it will look like. But with some stress comes excitement. Right. So I'm really excited about where we will go from here. But having 10,000, 14,000 people in the building makes me kind of scary because it's going to look different next year.
And there is the natural human change. Change is scary.
Absolutely.
And that of course is the case for some people that have been so used to their setup for decades now. And one of the most interesting things, I think what makes this fan base so special, is one of the concerns that I was hearing from people is, well, I love my section. I love the people around me. We've gotten to know each other. We've grown up. I've seen these families' kids grow up.
Right.
How can I make it so that I'm still by them? And it seems like you guys do have an answer for that.
Right. So we've been working with so many people over the last 3 months that we've announced this to quell their concerns about like what this will look like when I have a situation like you spoke of. Like I have people that I've gotten to know and I want to be around them. And so if anybody else has concerns, call our ticket office. We will have a solution for you. I don't want to say that everybody will get handled, they'll be in the same exact seats in the same exact section, but we'll at least work with you. I tell everybody in this process, we must be the best at communication and customer service. Like we have to be the best at that, because if we don't communicate effectively, if you don't know, I give this example. If I don't tell my wife something is going to happen, she's going to make up her own story about what's going to happen, right? And so I think of this situation in the same regard. Like if we don't tell people every step of the way what the process entails, they're going to make up in their mind what the story is. That's why I come on podcasts like this. That's why I go on news stations. That's why I talk to, news reporters, is because I want to effectively tell our story and tell people that, if you have a situation where your seats might be affected, or you want to sit with a group of friends that, your donor rank might be different, call us and we'll help you out.
And I have a question for you that's a little bit separate from the seating, but still goes along with, the energy that you guys are expecting in the Dome this fall. What was it like just working in the athletic department and being such a crucial core member around the Syracuse athletic department this winter and this early December when everything was happening, Fran Brown was getting hired, and that coaching search?
First, I will say I'm just a piece of everything that's going on. We have amazing people within the department that are doing much more important things than I'm doing. I'm just moving chess pieces, so to say. But we have an amazing group of people that are really doing the work, and I think it's important to say that first and foremost. But this winter for me was super exciting because I came in at a time where I knew I was going to be working with Adrian, who was a new head men's basketball coach, Felicia, who was a year into her tenure, and then Dino, who was coming in and was leaving. And I was like, okay, so what does this look like now going into basketball season? And then it hitting with a coaching hire. It was exciting for me because as an administrator, like in my role, it's what you like. You don't wish, anybody to lose their job, but it's like, this is what you prepare for. Like, this is what you really have prepared for as an administrator. All of these umpteenth years, I don't want to give my age out. All of these years of doing what I do, like I prepared to be in a position to help out my university, my alma mater, do something that's so important that the chancellor is worried about it, but also, a 13-year-old little boy is worried about it in Baldwinsville, is really concerned with it. So, and having to do all of that, I was actually in Hawaii with men's basketball when all of this coaching hire stuff happened. So like I was doing my job in Hawaii. I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning Hawaii time on phone calls with John, like, hey, this is what we have to do. This is who our candidates are. This is when we'll have to leave on planes to go interview coaches. Like I was doing all of that.
Wow.
At 4 a.m. in Hawaii while the basketball team was playing. And so it was exciting for me. It was tiring. But it was really fulfilling. Like as an administrator, like I said, like this is what you live for. Like all things hit at the same point. While I'm being a sport administrator for basketball, I'm also a part of a head football coach hire that's so important to this university. And I think, honestly, like I think we couldn't have done a better job with John, with Herm, with Joe Burton, all of the people who were a part of that coaching hire. Like we couldn't have done a better job because Fran Brown is absolutely killing it right now. He's doing an amazing job of coaching young men, but he's also doing an amazing job of recruiting young men. And I think even more important out of all of the things, he's a good man, right? He's a good man for this community, and he understands what this community is going through, knowing that he's from Camden and been through some of the hard times in Camden, the hard times in Syracuse, and he's showing up for our community. And so I think and I don't like pat myself on the back, but I'm going to pat myself on the back. Like, we did an amazing job with this hire, and to answer your question, it was exciting, it was fun, it was invigorating, it was tiring, but I think we got it right at the end of the day.
And what was your first interaction with Fran Brown? How did that happen? What was the situation?
So my first real interaction with him was in our interviewing process, and he knew of me. I knew of him. Fran was actually at the University of Georgia. I'm from Athens, Georgia, where the University of Georgia is. He knows the same people I know. So when we interacted, I told him who I was. He was like, "Oh, I know who you are. You know this person and this person and this person." I was like, "Well, yeah, and you know this person and this person and this person." It's a spider
web.
So we knew all of the same people, so we connected really, really early on. But from my side of things in the coaching hire process, like, I was just impressed with, his poise in this position. Like, everybody says, hey, he's not a sitting head coach. He's not a sitting DC. What does he bring to the table? Well, the intangibles that he brings to the table is he's an amazing recruiter. He is probably one of the most realer human beings that I've met. Like, he is who he is, good or bad. And I think the city of Syracuse resonates with that. Like, being a true and real person, people can feel it palpitates through the entire, community that, hey, I am who I say I am. Like, I might say ain't, I might say y'all, but I am who I am. And you guys hate it or love it, I'm going to be me. And most people in Syracuse and the Syracuse community have loved it.
Have you had a moment as an athletic department? I know you were talking about a little bit before that you guys, feel like you hit it out of the park early on. Have you had any conversations with John Wildhack or anyone else that you work with in SU athletics being like, wow, we really hit on something here, like...
You know what? I don't think we're counting we're not really patting ourselves on the back, because at the end of the day, from an athletic department standpoint, we are here to grow student athletes. We're here to enhance their student experience, but we're also here to win games. Fran Brown has won the offseason 100%, and me and Fran talk pretty much every day. But he has won the offseason, and he knows that. But what he will tell you, if he's ever brought on this podcast, what he'll tell you is, I was brought here to win football games. And that's what he is solely focused on. All the recruiting accolades and all of the things that are coming in, he enjoys. Thank you. I appreciate that. But what he is really here to do is to take Syracuse to a level that we haven't been in a long time.
And I know in his post-game press conference, I know he wants to bring back the quad walk, and I know he wants to do it bigger.
Right.
Is that something that ends up falling on you to do it bigger?
Everything is my responsibility. I take
everything's your fault.
Right. Everything is my fault. No, I really do take responsibility for my business development being, I oversee marketing, I oversee ticketing, I oversee some of the other intangibles of the athletic department, but I help oversee the in-game experience, and the quad walk is a part of that in-game experience. And so when Fran says he wants to do, the quad walk and bring that back, I was involved in all of the meetings, the initial meetings, and I kind of got it set up to where we know what the quad walk is going to be, and just doing it in the spring game, we got a taste of what it could look like. But I think Fran was right in saying that he wants it to be bigger and better. But just knowing in the future it will be bigger and better. We will have the band. We will have the cheerleaders. They will be, there will be, I won't say 100,000 fans, but it'll be a bunch of fans there cheering the team on as they go into the stadium. I think those are the kind of things from a head coach. Those kind of expectations drive the athletic department, right? Like, if my head coach says, hey, I want to do this thing and this thing is really important to me, it's up to 200 staff members to say, oh, well, this is important to our coach, let's try to make it happen. And so we're doing all of that. Obviously, when Fran talks about it, people listen, and so we are all cognizant of that, and we're just ready to get ready. We're ready for the season to start so that we can execute some of those things that he wants.
Awesome. We'll do 2 more, then we'll wrap it up and let you get out of here.
Yeah.
Anything you got, Ash?
I was just going to ask, from your perspective, you're an alum, you played football here. So what's it been like, with you taking this job? You mentioned you were at 5 or 6 schools to be able to come back to your alma mater.
It's special. It's special. Like, you care more because it's your university. It's people that you've known. It's the community that helped raise you. So you care a little bit more. But at the same time, it's weird, right? Like, I walk in the doors every day and I walk in the doors every day and I actually am in my mentor's office, Floyd Little, who was here, great running back. I don't know, you guys can YouTube him if you want. Great dude. One of my mentors, I'm actually in his office, and it feels like strange to even, you feel like imposter syndrome, because like, what? I'm here doing this for my school, who I saw this dude do it for 3-4 years, and he did it at a really, really high level, and now I'm the person who is doing that. So yeah, I get a little bit of imposter syndrome, but it's special for me. Like, I really care about this place, and I want this place to be amazing. So I do everything. You talking about me working so hard. Like, I work so hard because this is a place that I care about, and I want us to be successful.
It sounds like you enjoy it.
I do. I really do.
And we're coming up on summer. Hopefully that means some breathers for you. What are some of the things about Central New York, whether it's a favorite spot to eat, favorite spot to go to the park? What has kind of caught your eye and been like, you know what, I'm really enjoying this?
So you're gonna get me. I have this weird thing, right? Like, I said a bunch of different places. I love going to state fairs, and New York has like one of the
oh, you're in the right spot, my man.
State fairs that I've ever been to. Like, I got introduced, one of my good friends, Jacek Persky and Sinu, they introduced me to the state fair probably 12, 14 years ago. And shameless plug for wine slushies. They were amazing. And so getting back here, getting to go to the state fair, I actually took my son to the state fair. He ate his first turkey leg. That's
a big moment.
I know, like, it's super fun to be back, but the event that I'm looking most forward to is probably the state fair.
There we go. Love it. And Tory Ball joining us here on the Orange Zone. Tory, appreciate your time. May 1st, anything else that you want fans to know about the ticket stuff as we just wrap up here?
No, I think for everybody, this is new to everyone. So I appreciate your grace. But May 1st is going to be our deadline. And it's different than previous years because, we said it was, quote unquote, if you're listening, I'm doing air quotes, quote unquote, the deadline, but we allowed people to go into, June. This year, it's going to be too hard to do that because we're going to start selecting seats in June. So May 1st is going to be our deadline. If you're not renewed, renew. If you haven't signed up for season tickets, sign up. And we'll be happy to help you out anyway. Cuse Ticks or call 188-DOME-TICKS.
There we go. Love that. That's all going to be going in the info too, in the bio. So look out for that. But that's Tory Ball. That's it for this interview. And Ashley and I will be back on here, and what will be a very smooth cut, and it'll be a nice dissolve. You'll have no idea. Tory will just be gone. That's the only difference. All right. Thanks. All right. That was Tory Ball. Awesome interview. Really love chatting with him. He was fantastic. And very short here. We'll be getting into it more next week. But Malik Brown transfers to Duke, and lacrosse.
2 top 5 lacrosse teams. It's an exciting time, and they're both heading into the ACC tournament later this week. So hopefully we're still we're talking about some success there next week.
We'll see if the Orange get it done. Tommy Sladek, Ashley Wenskoski, Paul Dobrinsky. Have a good one. See you later.